interested? I'll make that. I'm running out of
Alex, I'm gonna see if the sound system works through this or not.
right now, we're creating a tripping hazard for me, so I'm gonna put some of this shit in the columns in front. I took the free off. We'll see.
Ow.
It will look weird. So what's the new shit?
So we're gonna be doing it 3 days from here. I just need to make sure that I get
Yeah, as long as right now it's streaming.
Oh, also this isn't hooked up, so I have to wire that real quick.
Mike? Yeah. Hello? Hello? Can you hear? All right.
Testing, testing, perfect,
Testing.
perfect.
Oh,
We're not going to talk directly into them just because I don't want it to project too much.
okay. So
But
kind of like go
Alex,
like
you
this.
can hear us from here, right?
Hello.
I'm louder. Okay.
Do I need to get like a little?
No,
closer?
you're good. It's just
Okay.
I'm loud. I yell. Okay. Alrighty.
Okay.
All right, Lauren. Let's do this in.
Are we live right now?
We are. Yes.
Okay.
All right. All right, everybody. It is that time of the week again. This is the Breaking Brews podcast, episode 16. I am your host, Mikey 2.
And I'm your co-host, Lauren Olivia. We're back.
We're back. It's the new year.
It is. It is.
It's a brew year.
Yes.
Bad joke.
It's gonna be a good year, though.
But no, I'm really excited. Our first episode, we're starting out strong. This year is, I said last year was our year of growth. This year is going to be our year of building. Now, there is a very distinct difference of growth and building. So the way I kind of explained it was growth is something like a foundation. You're building a foundation.
Yeah.
It's not something you see on the house, but it is incremental to making sure that the house is stable. But building is actually putting up the walls, putting a roof on, adding in all the extra bits. But this year is going to be a really big year for us for building. And we're going to be traveling a lot.
Yeah.
But we're starting this year out with something very new that we're going to be bringing to the YouTube channel. It's going to be a new short series called Behind the Brews, and we're actually going to be doing a live taping of this episode or this series today, and we'll release it separately later on down the road this week. But every 2 weeks we're going to shoot an episode off set, kind of in a more kitchen-based setting, where we interview people that are really big in the community and kind of get to know who they are, whether it's owners or people that are influencers just like us, or just anything that has to do with someone who's making the community grow. So that will be called Behind the Brews, where I teach them how to brew their own Kratom tea at home while interviewing them. And it'll just be a 30-minute short series every 2 weeks. And we're still going to be doing Breaking Bites. I just needed to make sure everything would work out and Lauren wouldn't hurt herself. So we'll actually be
the
taping
first one
some.
is something else.
Oh, yeah. I don't even know if we're going to use it, but I will save it for the end of the year of bloopers. But what you drinking, Lauren? I can imagine I can guess it without even looking.
I'll let you guess. What do you think I'm drinking?
A solar flare.
But Kate switched it up for me.
Kate switched it up. What you got in it?
Instead of the raspberry syrup they use, I've been using their new strawberry syrup.
Yeah.
And it's more of a puree, and it's been
Okay.
fire. So good.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm drinking my Mitra. We love a good Mitra 9. I did a lot of research with Mitra this week just on my own, just for the fun of it, just because I was kind of bored and I was like, kind of want to get to know the history of Mitra, and there's a lot of cool stuff on it. I know we're going to be able to tour this year their distribution facility, so that's going to be a lot of fun. But this week, like I said, we are having something. For now, it'll just be called the Back-to-Back Brews, in the episode where we do 2 interviews. We're going to be interviewing Space Swap, which is an upcycling / event /
they're a huge part of
environmentally
our
conscious
community.
business. It's really cool. Was started here in Brevard, and they do a lot of great events. I mean, I've been active in. I'm actually wearing some merchandise from one of their events that me and my band got to perform at, the Sustainable Bikini
Seems like I've been going to
Fashion
their
Show.
events for like a couple years now.
Oh yeah, I
honestly.
mean, we're gonna be. If you guys saw our story on Instagram, I posted some pictures from their first ever event, their grand opening of their store, as well as just some events that they do out in public.
Really great memories.
I mean, seriously, I owe a lot to Space Swap, but we're also going to be having a very unique interview with the company Root A1A, which they specialize in making kava ice cream, which I know you had kratom or kava donuts.
Yes, like Thai donuts
Yeah.
that were actually mochi.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So this is something unique. I mean, we were just talking about like what else would we try, and Route A1A saw that and they reached out to us, and we set this up pretty spontaneously, but they actually brought us some samples. So whenever
Yeah,
we get them
super
up here,
excited.
we're going to be letting some of the people out here in the audience. That's one of the great things about our show is we love to give back, and the businesses that we work with and we interview, they want to give back to the community as well. So we're going to be letting some people come up here and give their live reactions to some of the flavors. But yeah, we're going to hop right into things
Yeah,
today.
Today's gonna be a good episode.
So one thing that I'm really excited about, I'm just going to get out there, is the fact that starting next week will be our first episode outside of Nocturne Teas.
I know.
We're going to be shooting at Calm Collective in Cocoa Beach, which, it's a big step. We're going to be, once February hits, every single week up until
gonna be go,
pretty
go,
much,
go.
I think there's going to be one episode where we're not in a different bar and we'll be back here. We're actually, we'll be interviewing James. He's the photographer and the poet.
Okay.
So we're going to
nice.
interview him here, but that will be later, I think, in March. But pretty
Yeah.
much every single week, we're going to be in a different city. So I'm really excited about that. Starting February 4th, we'll be in Cocoa Beach, and then everything will be outside of Brevard afterwards. But, what's new? Anything?
Not much, honestly.
I like your hair this week.
Thank
I was saying
you.
that whenever you walked in. I really like it. What did you do? You put your bangs back.
Yeah, I did, and then I have like clip-ins right now too. So I'm
Okay,
like,
slay.
fake hair.
Well,
Yeah.
before we got on camera, Lauren and DJ were trying to put
Oh,
my
yeah.
hair up in a scrunchie. I think it probably looks good, but to me, just in the moment, I was like, on camera, this is not gonna look great because I
Your
don't know.
hair is like long, flowing, and luscious.
Yeah, and
You might as well
I
let
washed
the
it just a couple hours
locks
ago,
down.
so it's really long and luxurious. But so like I said, we're doing back-to-back interviews, and we're gonna be starting out today with obviously Space Swap. Like I said, they are a really great company. I mean, I think honestly, especially for Brevard, they've revolutionized a lot of things that people talk a lot. A lot of people talk about recycling and upcycling, and
It's very important.
it's very important, and it's very hard to learn to get into that kind of mindset, and that's one thing that we'll be able to talk with
Yeah.
with Ali about. But yeah, with further ado, welcome
Come on
Ali.
up.
Woo! So Ali, how it works is you'll just hold that mic.
Awesome.
Whenever we talk with you, and but we'll let you introduce yourself right away, and
Cool. Thank you so much for having me. Woohoo! So,
this is the most
yeah.
professional looking guest we've had so far. This is crazy.
Oh my gosh, and what an evolution it has been. So, yeah, I'm one of the founders of Space Swap, and I'm currently Space Swap's president. And recently, before that, the full-time executive director. So Space Swap is a nonprofit organization. We've been around for a little bit over 3 years. We spent 1 year in brick and mortar called Space Swap Shop right
We
next
love
to
it.
Savvy Vinyl Records, where we had over 100 events in 1 year, which was a huge success. We gave a lot of musicians and local artists their first show, and we continue to support the arts however we can. And so, yeah, it's been a wild ride. And we started just doing a clothing swap in a park. And we had maybe like 15, 20 people come. And our biggest event yet was at Rockledge Gardens, where we had over 500 people attend, which was really cool. And yeah, we just keep learning and growing. And I guess my outside has reflected who I've become as a person, because running that kind of a business and being a brick and mortar, I had to drink water from a fire hose and learn business really, really quickly. And so it kind of changed me into kind of this businesswoman now.
I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it takes a lot of, planning and determination. I mean, it's so easy to see a lot of the tough times happen and then just kind of give up on things. I mean,
Yeah.
even we haven't been around long, but we've even had moments where it's like people are like, we wouldn't blame you if you took some time off to figure things out. But I was like, you always start with the least amount of momentum at the bottom of the
Yeah.
hill,
You gotta
and
keep
you have to
going.
work your way up.
Yeah.
And
You'll get over
if we
those
stop once we're in a
bumps and
rhythm,
hiccups.
things are just not. It's gonna be like holding in a sneeze, I say.
Yeah.
But
I think it's so special that you've created such an amazing place where artists can go and have their first shows.
I mean,
and
me
just-
specifically. I mean, I got to go up there at your 100th event. I mean, better late than
Yeah.
never.
And it's so special to be like a part of that first step for them as well. But
Well, actually, I'm going to ask you, since I just asked Lauren, what are you drinking?
Oh, so I'm drinking a tea. This is, I don't know what kind of tea this is. I kind of forgot. I think it's chamomile, and it's delicious. And I got a pump of vanilla.
Ooh, pumpkin vanilla. See, I think, okay, like, I like pumpkin flavorings, but I don't actually like pumpkin. And I think pumpkin should be, year-round type of deal. It's a great tasty, it's different, because then it makes you think of fall, and fall is just nice feelings. Rory, I don't know if he's here right now, but Rory makes a lot of fall drinks. He's really great at that. But so one thing I wanted to ask you was, obviously we're talking about like you've been in every different kinds of facet. You've been just pop-up shop, brick and mortar, even just events with other businesses, locations. What did it take to get to where you are today? Like, what hurdles did you have to jump? Where do you start, honestly?
Wow. So it started with giving back to the community and building an audience and creating that safe space, right? Space Swap wouldn't be what it is now without the safe space and the artists that we pour life into and give them a place to express themselves. Quite like this, honestly. I really like the vibe here.
It's awesome. I mean, it's like a melting pot of different lifestyles, different people. Like, and I love, so one thing that they do here is specifically, so they have a plant store. 100% of the proceeds go right back to the gardener. Same thing with all the art on the wall and the little art gallery we have over there.
What are the books over there? I just noticed by our door.
I'm not gonna lie,
a couple children's
I'm not
books.
particularly sure.
I'll have to go read it.
Yeah, we'll have to read it. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
But yeah, a lot of
everything
special things
that's
here.
everything that's here goes 100% of the proceeds go back to the artist, and that's one thing that I respect a lot. I mean, it's so easy to be like, oh well, like we have to be able to afford certain things. We can't always just give back. But honestly, that's what makes a business set out, is whenever you just give back. I mean,
Absolutely.
especially like people, it's hard to get their art into like an art gallery without having some kind of experience. And this could be, I mean, there's so much great art over there. I mean, who knows where we'll see some of that in the next couple of years. I mean, they could be up in art galleries selling for thousands of dollars. Like,
Absolutely.
You have to give everybody a platform, and I think that's one thing that Space Swap has done very well. I mean, you guys were the first time I was able to perform for my family in like in a sense where they could all come together to one spot, because it's kind of hard, especially being in the Kava community and with what a lot of people and a lot of millennials and a lot of baby boomers have read on the internet. It's hard to get people to come out because they'll just believe whatever they read on the internet. And I mean, I'm no saint to that either. I've been tricked by a lot of stuff, but that's what this whole podcast is about, is to show people that things are different. So, but it was nice to have a place to ask them to come that wasn't just a kava bar.
Yeah, and I think even before you guys, our community was looking for somewhere they could go and perform and, or swap clothing or just do fun events in this town. Because honestly, I feel like kava bars weren't even that popular back then.
Oh, no.
Or were as mainstream as they are now when you guys first started as well, because kava bars are also such a great place for that. So we were lacking just, a place where we could go and be ourselves.
Like, I feel like you do have a lot, like you have a good mix. You have some people from the kava community, some people in the LGBT community. You have people that are just from all different walks of life. And I mean, it's crazy to see how many people, how they've all kind of merged together in some places.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And that's the thing too, like being rooted in community and giving people an opportunity to share their talents. And it really worked because we were all coming up together, like we're all young and we were all for the community, by the community. And so it was nice that everything we did was mutually beneficial. And since then, a lot of the different artists that got their first shows out or whatever are now, doing gigs all over town.
I love it.
So like you.
Oh, no, I mean, seriously, I mean, it's crazy. And you guys support everything. I mean, just the fact that you guys, even after you guys had closed down the brick and mortar location, you still invited everybody that ever had done an event with you out to your home, like to like come and like spend time, even whenever there wasn't like a building. You provided one, and like, you welcomed us into your home, and I mean, that's just. It just makes it feel so much more personal. Like, there's a lot of businesses, like big corporations, like that, give back a lot, but you don't feel that personality.
Personal.
Yeah, something like that. Making up words on the podcast.
I love
do that
it.
a lot.
It's a new word. Put it in the dictionary.
Webster, hit me up. But no, I mean, you really just, you can you can tell when someone's being genuine, and I mean, you're as genuine as they come.
Yeah.
What you got, Lauren? Nothing. Okay. Well, okay. So
I think we've kind of said it all. We've kind of touched on every little thing.
Yeah.
So where can people find you now since you did shut down that brick and mortar store?
Yeah, so a question, I'll answer that in a second, but a question that we get a lot is people ask kind of about that part of our journey, like being nomadic and then being in a brick and mortar for a year and then exiting the brick and mortar. And there's kind of like this whole why and how and different
Yeah.
things, right?
yeah.
And I kind of like to look at it like a TV show. Like we all have a favorite TV show, and there's always a season finale, and
Right.
then the show lives on, and you rewatch it, and it's amazing, and it never goes bad.
Yeah.
And so we intentionally wanted to continue on without brick and mortar in Space Swap's height, and we are so proud of everything we did there.
Yeah.
And we're all nomadic people. I think we were ready to untether ourselves and be wanderers yet again. And we have an ongoing sewing club, and we meet at Groundswell Startups for that once
Awesome.
a month for the sewing club. If you guys are interested in joining the sewing club,
I've seen it all over social media, actually.
it's really fun.
Yeah.
You've seen it on social media. So we're doing that. We have some other swaps planned and just leaning more into our community partners and seeing how we can benefit other organizations outside of Space Swap, like Community of Hope, Ways for Life. They help assist children getting out of foster care, like aging out of
wow.
foster care. There's just so many great organizations, and like Space Swap does a lot of great things, but I think one of the most beneficial things we do is we use our social media platform to boost others that are doing really great things in the community for
Yeah.
those in need. So yeah, you can follow us at space_swap on Instagram. And yeah, do you guys have any other questions? Yeah, we can get deep.
I do notice like you guys really kill it with the social media. Like, I mean, even for us, it's been a little bit hard. Kind of, we had a kind of like a gathering of like a few of our different outlets together in one channel. So now we have our own specific just for the podcast Instagram. But you guys pop up all the time. Even like you guys pop up. It's funny. I have been telling people for a couple weeks that like we were gonna have you on here, and they're like, ever since we talked about
Mikey,
What?
I think that mask you brought here is. Oh, it's
Whoa,
sliding.
that's
I was like,
crazy.
it's making Nocturne possessed.
I found a tiki mask in a dark alley in Cocoa Beach, and I brought it
It's
here.
pretty cool.
And hey, actually,
But
Avery,
yeah.
are you able to lift it up? It's on the wall.
But we always say it's haunted.
it's like
and
on the ledge by the window.
Is it still over there?
Yeah, it's over there.
Okay.
I think
it's
it was.
just
I think it was
hiding.
insulted that it got knocked down.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I found it on the ground. I was like, this would be really cool to bring with me. No, but yeah,
That
I
thing's
disrupted an Indian burial ground.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry
You were
about
in the
that.
middle of asking a really important question.
So okay, so how do you come up with the events? Like I see you guys market your events very well, but you guys do a lot. I mean, I know you guys do or did Poetry with Villains Coffee. You did the sustainable bikini fashion show. You guys did open mics. I mean, you did everything. I mean, how did you come up with these?
Well, it took a village. We had a full-time creative director from the beginning of Space Swap until about the end of Brick and Mortar, and they helped a lot with graphics and things like that. And I kind of ran the social media page and made the reels, and I did a lot of like the business relationships and like onboarding and basically like business development side.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've always partnered with artists and like make sure they got paid. You got to pay your artists, guys.
come on, guys.
And so I
Take
would,
notes.
well, I guess independently contract out artists that I would hire to
Yeah.
help behind the scenes. So a lot of the funding that we would actually get and donations and sponsorships would go directly back in to the art community to pay our artists to help with Space Swap to build the platform, and it was like this life cycle.
It's very hard to explain that concept to people because people don't understand. Like a lot of places, especially like with your business, they're not in it for the money. They're in it just to, spread awareness of other people. I mean, everything that we have made from this has gone directly back into it, or being able to give back to people that come and like talk on the show just a little bit. But that's one thing is like, I will never take a dime from this personally. everything goes back. Like we
Yeah.
bought this.
And
I mean,
think
just this
is
Christmas we bought.
honestly great knowledge for
Yeah.
young business owners who are looking for somebody to kind of help them out and explain to them like how they started from point A all the way to point B and certain traits you should do and follow along the way in order to benefit in the long run.
I
So
mean-
I'm glad we're really talking about this because this is giving even us a lot of insight, and it definitely will give a lot of insight to the young viewers out there who are just starting.
I mean, prime example of someone that that you had a very big influence on, and now has his own company. I mean, Vandal. Vandal has a Mardal tea, and you have Calco. Hi DJ and hi DJ. And it's awesome to see. I mean, again, I didn't know Vandal before that, but then one day I just seen him at Downtown Island Route, and I was like, what are the odds? I was like, I just seen him at the 100th event. That's whenever I had met him for the first time. And I was like, what are the odds that you're here? And ever since then, I mean, me and him have gotten a lot closer. And it's just crazy to see. I mean, obviously, I mean, they're a little bit separate. I mean, what the two things are. But I feel like that really did encourage him to be a little more social, get out there, meet people, talk to a bunch of people. Because, I mean, starting a business takes knowing people, knowing places. I mean, if he wasn't in the kava community, he might not have never had the inspiration to do that. And I mean, we have it here. I know they're trying to spread it everywhere in due time. But you have inspired. I mean, I wouldn't be as comfortable being on stage if it weren't for you giving me, like, I had never done anything other than like open mics that are small and condensed. And I mean, you literally your 100th event, you had something like 32 different performers and like it, and just all the stuff going on outside all at the same time. And I mean, I applaud your perseverance to keep it going after, 3 years. I mean, it might not seem like a long time to somebody who doesn't have a business, but I mean, in a business years, I mean, I'm sure it feels like an eternity.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. And the point of business is solving a problem, right? Creatively solving a problem. Like there's kava communities now because there was a lack of community. And so these kava bars are opening up and filling that void. And Space Swap was that, exactly. And so continuing my journey of becoming a businesswoman through Space Swap, a lot of artists had challenges connecting the dots between being an artist and making it a business.
Yeah.
And a lot of young artists and entrepreneurs would come to me and ask, like, how did you make Space Swap into this? How can I become a full-time artist? How can I become a full-time musician? And it's become my passion to help young entrepreneurs early in their journey figure out how to develop their business in a way that is sustainable for them. My first recommendation is don't quit your day job too soon. You have to be able to keep your head above water and support yourself while you're building. Nobody knows this, but while we were building Space Swap, first of all, I didn't take a salary, first of all. Second of all, I was still working part-time jobs the entire time. I would leave the shop and then I would go to work and get paid. So that's just one of the many behind the scenes that a lot of people need to understand in business development. And I think it's important for entrepreneurs to mentor other entrepreneurs, especially in the artist space, to make sure that you are building something that's going to be sustainable, because there's nothing harder than building a business that you're passionate about and putting everything into that business and that business failing. So I'm here now to support our local businesses.
That's awesome. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to come out here and let us get to pick your brain a little bit. And one more time, if you want to shout yourself out, all facets, you're more than welcome to.
Thank you so much, both of you, for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
And kudos to you guys for this awesome podcast. I've never seen anything like this in front of a live audience.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm shaking in my boots. Okay, so you can follow me at Alexandra Comera, Alexandra, and that's my business and entrepreneurship account. And then Space Swap is space_swap. And yeah, I want to just continue connecting with our community and pouring back and doing what we can to support each other and see more young entrepreneurs and art-based businesses succeed.
Well, that's what it's all about. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Such a good segment. I'm getting it out of here.
Yeah, we trap our guests in here.
I'm always tripping over wires.
All right. Well, so give us about 5 minutes. We're gonna plan out our next segment, but pretty much up next, we're gonna be having the pretty much the whole team of Route A1A get up here and kind of get to be a part of this. So we're really excited about that. We're gonna, if there's anybody out there in the audience that is wanting to later on try, we have some ice cream for you guys to try. It's kava ice cream. If that's something you're willing to try, we'll come out to you guys and ask you if you want to be up on camera. We'll get your live reaction. But let me step off here for a second, and we're going to get some things figured out. Actually, hey, Lauren. Nope. Nope, we're good. And Lauren, if you want to let them know I'm ready for them. Yep. So, with with the microphones, you guys will just hand it back and forth or whatnot, because I don't know if it'll be loud enough to pick up both of it just from there. So obviously we cut out a lot of the in between. So like if you guys mess up and you want to rephrase something, obviously the only people that will see it are the people that are actually watching in the live stream right now. But if you ever want to just rephrase something, just take it from a silent part and just restart what you're saying. If you want to, we'll clip it. We'll make it seem all right. Make it flow naturally.
All right, that works.
Awesome, guys.
Want me to hold it?
Okay.
That'll work.
Perfect. And you'll want to keep the microphone probably about this
I was
distance
gonna
from
ask
you.
you
Yeah.
about how far it's
Yeah. So you don't have to speak directly into it like this or whatnot, but or even if you do, because it'll go through the sound system so people can hear it. But you don't have to be any louder. These are pretty
Pretty
good.
good microphones. Okay.
Yeah, it seemed like it when you were talking.
Oh yeah, and I love that like tonight we're able to project a little bit more than we usually do. So, but a lot of people are listening. I love to see that we have a lot of people watching, even here in the audience right now. But all right, we're gonna hop into it. All right, now that we got all that out of the way, we are joined right now by two of the three members here of Route A1A. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves. Perfect.
My name is Ron.
Sabrina.
And you guys are with Route A1A. What's the socials for it? I just want to make sure we get it right. You can go ahead and plug it. We'll put it up here in the top.
Yeah, it's routea1a.com.
Perfect.
And then on Instagram, it's routea1a. But
Perfect.
it's spelled ROOT.
Yeah, Route A1A, which I love it because obviously the big coast over here in Brevard is the A1A that leads up to Cape Canaveral and all that. It's awesome. I mean, it's just really cool to see people using the play on words. I mean, we use play on words a lot with the breaking brews. It's the play on words of breaking news. And then right now our inner brews, behind the brews, which that's actually what this is. This is going to be our first ever Behind the Brews segment. We're trying it live, and where we interview people that are incremental in the behind the scenes of big things happening in the kava community. And I mean, I thought, who else better than someone as sweet as the Route A1A team that makes kava ice cream. And but yeah, so we're gonna do some sampling up here. We're gonna be interviewing, and we're gonna bring some people up here in a bit. But obviously, I wanted to get some of the big questions, the hard hitters for the people at home. That I actually I asked a few people from our audience and from our community for a few questions, because I was like, I couldn't even think of what do I ask a company like this. I mean, it's very unique. I mean, there's one chocolate factory whenever I was a kid up in Pennsylvania called Sarris's, and like, I couldn't even ask them questions. Like, I don't even know what I'd ask them. So I asked the audience, I asked some people, and we have some questions for you. And our first question is obviously, when was the moment you knew that kava ice cream was the next big snack?
So we were sitting in actually in Big Dog Kombucha one night, and we were just kind of messing around, and someone said, hey, would it be nice if we combined kava with gelato? So one of the ladies there bought in some gelato. We got some cups, and we just dumped it in the cups. And we tried it, and we were like, we have something here. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It was good. And then, you talk about the fat in ice cream potentiates the kava.
Oh, yeah.
So we're like, hey, we think there's a match here. So we immediately went out, and she bought a Ninja creamer, and we started experimenting with kava and ice cream. As you know, kava is drying, so our ice cream
Oh, yeah.
was rock hard.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, you couldn't get a spoon into it. So Sabrina got in contact with an ice cream specialist manufacturer in Orlando.
Yeah.
She took some kava, went into Orlando, did a bunch of testing, and they
That's
got
awesome.
the recipe right. Higher milk fat to make
Yeah.
it creamier, and they got it right. And like when she brought it home, the first time I tasted it, we were like, "There's something here. This is fantastic."
I mean, that's what it all is. I mean, like, you find a market that nobody's tapped into, and I mean, you guys are headlining all of this. I mean, once you guys started doing the kava ice cream, I mean, just recently there's a business that's made it's Asian donuts with mochi in it that has kava in it now, or not kava, kratom, has kratom in it. So like, I mean, you guys inspired a business to do that. And I think there's one other business that does something similar. They make puff pastries, and the cream filling has kratom extract in it, but you don't taste the kratom extract, which is a very hard thing to do with kratom extract. It tastes like gasoline.
Yeah.
But you guys are inspiring generations, as well as pioneering everything for kava kratom desserts. And I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I would never in a million years would have thought kava and ice cream go together. But your product, from what I hear, I've specifically stayed away from trying it because I want the pure, true reaction here on camera with the people at home. But people say you really don't taste it that much. The flavors are way more overpowering, which is a very hard thing with kava. I mean, ask anybody. I mean, it's hard to make it taste like anything other than dirt. And some places have kind of figured out a way, but it's still, you still can taste it. So I can't wait to see what you guys have done with it. Are there any other kind of desserts that you guys have started to dabble with at all, or?
Not right now. We're just trying to get the ice cream perfect, but we have a lot of fun ideas. So
Yeah,
stay tuned for
I mean,
that.
there's so much. I mean, a couple episodes ago, we asked a bunch of people from our audience what they would be like interested in trying things, and we've talked about making kratom Jolly Ranchers. I mean, it was actually DJ. DJ came up with the idea. You take, I mean, it's easy to make hard candy. All you do is you just boil down sugar and water and mix it all together. You get hard candy. Drop a little bit of kratom extract in it or whatever. I mean, obviously you'd have to figure out how to make the flavors taste better or whatnot. But we're talking about that. We were also talking about maybe kava brownies or something like that, because I mean the fact that kava can come in such like a pure powder form. I mean, what's stopping you from mixing it or even using it as mixed kava and milk together and use that as your dairy base?
I do.
Yeah, yeah.
We do, yeah.
So I mean, there's so much you can do with it. Where did this all start? How long have you been pretty much
We are maybe 6 months old.
6 months old? Wow. That's crazy. I mean, and the fact that you guys have such big traction in the community, I mean, where can people buy this in a kava bar scene? Like, where can they get it from?
Oh, so we are in the Berm. We're in Tides. We're in Roots in Titusville.
Yeah, that's new, right? They
That's
just
new.
opened.
They just opened. Surf Cap. So one of the other things that we started doing is we're actually getting our ice cream in other places other than kava bars.
That's awesome.
And the reason we're excited about that is because it introduces people to kava that may
In
never
a more
have,
pleasant way.
in a more pleasant way, and they may never would have heard of it or tried it. So we're in Mr. Nice Guys in downtown Melbourne,
Awesome.
Cafe
Surfinista.
Surfinista, Decine Burritos. is
Oh,
actually-
I love the kinds.
They're actually
I
selling
was
our
going to
ice-
have them for lunch.
Yeah, they're actually selling our ice cream now.
That's awesome.
Mangrove Marketplace is a new place in Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
It's a really neat place. They've got like this ramen bar with like hundreds of ingredients. You can make your own ramen there and stuff like that. We got our ice cream in there, so we're pretty excited about getting it in places that aren't just kava bars, because I think we're bringing in in front of people who may not want into
Yeah.
a kava bar.
I mean, I remember my first experience with kava, and I mean, everybody's first time is like that wow, this tastes like dirt.
Like crap.
Yeah. And I mean, I seen you guys made a post either yesterday or today just with like how long you've been working with Tides, and I've known Ty a long time, and I mean, he's been a really big part of my life in general, even outside of the kava community. I remember one day my mom called me because me and Ty actually grew up together. Pretty much our dads would get together and play darts at my house every weekend, and so we would just spend a lot of time together when we were growing up. And one day my mom's like, she's like, hey, you know Ty, he opened one of them kava bars. I'm like, kava, but you're close. And I was like, no way. Like, what are the odds? Like, a childhood friend. And I'd only been at that time, I think in the community for maybe like 2 years or so. And I didn't even realize it because I'd only stayed in Melbourne, really. I didn't know that I thought it was just a Melbourne thing. But it's awesome to see that you guys are working with not only kava bars, but businesses that aren't kava bars. I mean, that's all it takes is one good experience from somebody they're going somewhere and they're like, what's this kava thing? Or especially here in Melbourne, people are like, oh, I've heard about that, but I've never tried it. And someone's like, ice cream, it can't be, it's got to taste really good. And I think that will really warm people up to the fact of coming out to kava bars and trying something new. I mean, that's what all New Year's are about. I mean, you guys are our first episode of the year, and you guys are also a new segment that we're trying out. So there's always time to try something new. I threw away the whole being scared to try new things because my whole life I was a picky eater, and I was always just stayed in the same lane. I never ventured out, never tried new things, and kava really was like a big determining point for me and like growing up. I mean, growing up is trying new things, expanding your taste buds, expanding your comfortability. And this really brought me out of my shell even more than I already was. Like, I could talk to you one-on-one nonstop until I was blue in the face, and so you'd be like, shut up, please, and ask anybody. But I was very anxious about getting up on stage because both my parents were musicians, my sister's a musician. I felt like I had a lot to live up to like, if I mess this up, I feel like I'm going to dishonor my family. And obviously I wouldn't, but you know how we are in our own heads. And this community really, I mean, the fact that Nocturne Teas, without even like hesitation, whenever I offered the idea, I was like, hey, what are your thoughts about doing a podcast at the bar? They're like, okay. And like, I was like, well, do you want another thing? They're like, just keep it cool. Like, obviously, like, don't interrupt the bar or anything like that. Like, just keep doing your thing. And you can do whatever you want for the most part. I've tried getting away with a few things, but I'm really glad with how welcoming this community is. I mean, I've been in it for 8 years now, coming up on 8 years, and I've been in it longer than pretty much most of the people in, like, at least here. and in a lot of the main community. Like a lot of the older people, Kava was really big with a lot of the older generations than younger people, but now it seems to have flip-flopped over the last, I'd say like five years or so. It's really opened up, and I mean, you see Kava bars popping up everywhere. Do you guys, I guess I haven't really asked you guys this even off camera, do you guys have a brick and mortar location?
No.
No?
So right now we're just wholesale.
Is that something, you would be open to in like the future, or?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, would you guys open it as a kava bar, or would you guys try and go, no, just straight like ice cream parlor?
Yeah, straight goodies. Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
awesome. I mean, honestly, we need more stuff like that because, some people, I mean, a lot of people, I say there's a distinction between kava bars and kava lounges. Kava lounges is a place where you want to go and you could spend a couple hours. Kava bar, go grab a quick drink after work, hang out with a couple friends, like maybe one or two friends. But some people in the kava bar industry just want to take something to go or whatever, and a lot of people would probably love more than just gas stations for quick service kava. I mean, if you think about it, really, there's no places that are doing something like that. So that could be something you could pioneer as well.
So you just gave me another idea.
Listen, I got tons of ideas. Like I've been talking to Gerard from Big Dog about a lot of ideas, and he released that new drink, the Mandarin Mint. I love it.
Oh, yeah,
I love mint anything. Like this morning, I start every single one of my mornings off with the yerba mate, the Enlightenment, just because something about it. I wake up and I always have a groggy throat. Everybody does. But like I'll drink that and it's got eucalyptus and mint, so it opens up my throat. Because I talk the second I start waking up. I just hop to it. But I really appreciate you guys kind of, explaining the history of you guys. And even though it's been 6 months, I mean, I feel like I've heard about you guys forever. And I mean, the word of mouth is really important for a business like that, and especially social media. So we're going to plug their socials again up here. So if you guys want to give them a follow, I mean, you guys supporting them supports us. We want to support each other. That's what this community is about, is supporting everybody, and just giving back to the people who, I mean, obviously they brought some flavors up here. So we're going to try a couple flavors. You can grab whichever ones you want to grab.
What do you want to start with?
I really want to try banana. I love banana flavor, anything. So
You're trying it live on the air.
yeah, we're trying
Awesome.
it live. That's the one thing is I'm all about, like, obviously we do have like an outline, but I like to keep things as pure and natural as possible. I don't like the feeling of stage things. That's why I would love for this to be considered a late night show, but late night shows are very staged. So if you guys look, I mean, just the packaging alone is super attention grabbing. It's very appealing. It's got, I mean, this is my favorite color. It's kind of like a teal turquoise, and it fades into the orange and yellow and green. I love it. I mean, I love the fact that it comes in almost like the Bluebell cups. Like, it brings me back to like childhood memories, and it looks great on camera. I mean, alrighty. So this is the banana, Bula banana.
Blue banana.
And so, I mean, it looks like ice cream. It feels like,
Not too hard.
It might be a little hard. 'cause we-
no, I mean, hey, that's pretty good. I mean, this is better. I mean, if I buy a Bluebell thing, I'm like chiseling away at it. So, Bula. Wow. I mean, it tastes like I'm eating a banana. It tastes like I'm eating, those frozen chocolate covered bananas.
Yeah, the frozen.
That's
old
what it
one,
tastes.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
what it tastes like. I mean, that's really good. And I'm very picky. Like, that's one thing. So, especially with Big Dog Kombucha, I was really nervous to try their product on camera because I've had such bad experiences with kombucha where I do not like vinegar whatsoever. And most kombuchas are very
It's got that vinegary taste.
that vinegary
yeah.
taste. And I was slightly nervous because I was like, I'm worried that the kava is going to be too overpowering. But honestly, the kava is so faint. I mean, you really, it just tastes like I'm eating banana ice cream.
Right.
I mean, there's a banana ice cream they have at Universal because they have like the whole Minions, like the kids movie expansion. They have banana ice cream, and this tastes like $1 million company's ice cream. I mean, and I think that's what you guys have is a $1 million ice cream company idea. But man, I wish my hair wouldn't get in my mouth. That does not taste as good as this ice cream. But it's got a good consistency. It does not feel like you would imagine it to. Like, I was expecting it to be a little bit gritty, and it's smooth.
Yeah.
It's smooth. It's creamy. It's rich and flavorful. I mean,
And it actually gets better if you let it melt a little bit and gets a little softer. I
Yeah.
feel like the creaminess comes out a little bit when it's a
yeah,
little bit
I'm gonna
softer.
set it off to the side because honestly, like, this is really good. Like, I mean, whenever we were talking, you said you're probably gonna be bringing out pints soon. I mean, I'm probably gonna be your #1 customer. But so, you guys have a lot of flavors. what would you say your best seller flavor is at the moment?
Coconut?
Coconut?
Yeah, probably coconut.
I feel like, coconut really does fit that kava tropical vibe. I mean, as the years have gone on, a lot of kava bars have stepped away from, there's tens of kava bars that are all tropical theme. That's why I think sets like Nocturne and a couple other bars in this area apart is they don't stick to the traditional. That's awesome. I'm getting like the numbing effect now.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. But like some businesses are stepping away and kind of going towards themes, and I think right now, so obviously tropical, the traditional kava bars, I guess I would call them, have been around for 8 years, well, longer, like 12 years, and where they've been kind of slowly gaining mainstream. But I think themed kava bars are going to be the next big thing that come out. Like we have, obviously the speakeasies are really big. There's one in St. Pete, the Mad Hatter, which is themed after the live-action Alice in Wonderland, mixed with like the animated. But I mean, I could totally see, especially in the state of Florida, getting this out everywhere because it's unique. I mean, like you said, you guys had an idea. You're like, what if we did this? Put the pen to paper, actually did it. It's a great product. I mean, here's the thing is I've noticed a lot of companies, that try to do like the CBD ice cream or hemp ice cream or something like that where it doesn't look like ice cream, doesn't taste like ice cream, makes me want to throw up. And like I said, I'll try anything. I'll try anything once. But you guys honestly have gotten it down. I mean, I have no complaints. And I'm really picky. I'm super picky. But so
yeah, we said when we did it, that was our one thing. We said we're not going to sell it if it doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
And we wanted it to taste like ice cream.
Yeah. This is honestly, this brings back childhood memories of like, so there was an ice cream I used to eat at up at that chocolate place I was telling you about in Pennsylvania, Saras's, and they made all their ice cream in house, and it's just bringing me back to like memories of being a kid up there because I grew up in the middle of like Amish farmland stuff during the summers or whatnot, so there wasn't much fun stuff. Farms are not fun. Like, the animals sound cool, but somebody took care of the animals for us, and we didn't do any of the fun stuff. All we did was bale hay and sweat. And anytime we got to go into town and have ice cream and go to the chocolate store, it was a great memory. And I could see this becoming the next big hit. Especially with, the new year coming in, you guys are really going to be taking off during summer. I feel like this is going to be, I say by the time summer hits, you guys are going to double the locations, or if not. That's why we bring people on, is to bring businesses on here to give them some promotion, some free publicity, because I know how expensive my company outside of, doing what I do here is I'm a strategic advisor and consultant. I know how expensive ads get. Like, if you look around, Island Root's the only kava bar that really has like ads and commercials and stuff like that because it's expensive. Like, it takes a lot of money to do something like that. And one thing we like to do when we travel around is go to a kava bar, we'll shoot them a commercial for free. And because I feel like everybody should have equal, exposure. All it takes is one social media post, one commercial to get a name out there. I was just talking about it right across the street from here. We have a music store called Marion Music. And when I was a kid, they had a commercial, and it would go 7373000 Marion Music. And mind you, this commercial was from like 2002, and I still have it memorized, the whole thing, all the instruments. And commercials really make or break, especially obviously living in a more modern age. Social media makes or breaks a company. And you guys' commercials are professional. I was just looking, you guys' in your review footage is better than anything we put out so far. We saved it. Where you at? Route A1A. It's crazy how professional all your stuff is. Like, you guys have really good cameras. Like this picture with the Mr. Nice Guys. Like all this. Like, it's crazy. I've seen some businesses with some really, really bad marketing and some really bad pictures, and it really does harm. Like, they could have the best product in the world, but if you don't make it look appetizing, you don't make it appealing, it'll never sell.
You've met the mastermind of that.
Yeah, and we're going to be getting him up here soon because he's Mr. Marketing over there. But do you guys have any new flavors that you're looking at releasing here soon? I know you're going to be keeping, you said your mint around. Your mint
chocolate chip staying, yeah.
You're going to be keeping that around, but is there any other flavors that you guys think, or would you guys ever put out a poll or whatever? Like, because I put out a poll today. I've never used that feature before on Instagram, but I was able to put a poll up in the story where we could see like who's heard of Space Swap, who's heard of Route A1A, and it was 50 or so people had heard of both. People just wanted to be part of the poll. A lot of people had heard of Space Swap, but I mean, it's crazy to see how popular you guys are. I mean, before you guys were at Berm, like actually like physically inside the store, people would talk about you guys all the time. They're like, "Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this kava ice cream?" And I'd be like, "No." And like they were really bad at explaining where I could possibly get it, and I was like, "Okay." And then it drifted off in the back of my mind. And then one day, you guys followed my main Instagram account even before we'd done the podcast, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this is pretty cool." And then I saw you guys were at Tides, and ever since then, I mean, all I've wanted to do is I wanted to save a day where we could give you guys your due diligence, give you guys the platform to talk. And I was like, what better than a new short series we want to do? You guys are going to be our first episode. We're actually going to clip this whole segment and put it in its own separate video on top of this being in this episode. But I mean, there's a few things that I'm really excited. I was excited about for the show, and this was one of them.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity. And then just circling back to the flavors, we are going to have some new flavors for the spring. And I will kind of like spoil one. We're going to have a pina colada sherbet.
Ooh,
So-
I love pina colada.
We've got an orange sherbet now.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people like, but we're going to have a pina colada one.
That is the one I hear the most about.
The orange
is
sherbet?
orange sherbet. I mean, Lauren was even talking about it before. She was told, once people heard that you guys were coming on here, like, oh, you got to try the orange sherbet. Try the orange sherbet. And
You want to try it?
yeah, let's try it.
Grab one. Let's go try it.
Let me clean my spoon.
And you'll be able to taste the kava a little bit more in the orange sherbet.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have the milk fat, but
Yeah.
it's still very good. This is in our old packaging, but
Oh, okay.
so we're-
So, okay, I'm going to ask you a question before I get into this, because I've always been curious about this. What is the difference between ice cream and gelato and sherbet? What is the...
Well, sherbet's easy because that doesn't have dairy.
Okay, so it's a dairy-free...
It's a dairy-free. Ice cream and gelato, it has to do with the milk fat content. That one's a little harder.
That's okay.
Minutes of milk.
That's okay. Hey, listen, like I said, I've had to chisel my fair share of ice cream. I mean, one of my clients is an ice cream store. Who knows? I mean, we could probably get you guys up in there as well.
Where?
It's near it's in Satellite Beach next to Satellite Island Route. It's called Momo's Scoops.
Oh yeah.
But they're right next to a kava bar, right next to Island Route. I mean, they go hand in hand. Those two businesses
Right, yeah.
go hand in hand. So this is the orange sherbet.
Orange sherbet.
Wow. I mean, honestly, you said it was gonna taste the kava more. It wasn't until really the end there. It's like kind of like a Italian ice almost.
Yeah.
That's kind of what sherbet is. I like this. I like this a lot. I mean, it kind of tastes like a dreamsicle. I mean, it tastes like yeah. I mean, I really can't think of anything other way to describe it.
What some people do is they take the orange sherbet and they mix it with our vanilla ice cream, and they make a dreamsicle.
That's kind of like I don't know if you've seen, or I'm sure you guys being in the ice cream, the Fat Donkey.
Yes.
They do something called zonkies where they do their soft serve and then mixed with their like Italian ice or like
Right.
kind of like a sherbet as well. But I mean, hey, I'm gonna set this off to the side because if not, I'm gonna keep on eating it. But we'll try that later. That's really good. Alex, you're gonna have to try some of this. That's really good. That's really good. Here, take the banana one real quick. Try that, because now it's a really good one.
Walk around. You can walk around the front.
He'll come get it. And then, yeah, we'll give you a spoon.
You get it now when it's nice and soft.
Well, so we're going to get Lauren up here, and we're going to switch you guys out. We're going to let her sample some things. And, I mean, I really appreciate you guys taking time. I mean, you guys are really busy. You guys are busy early in the morning. Just come out here late at night, keeping you guys up past your bedtime.
Yeah, probably.
This is
No,
what
but
she was saying.
we appreciate the opportunity.
Of course. I mean, I want to give everybody, equal exposure because, I mean, if people hadn't shared our content and hadn't, boosted us up, we wouldn't even have half the support we do now.
Right.
And I mean, it only gets bigger as the episodes come out. And I mean, we're gonna start putting out like short form content where we clip things from the videos because those did really well. I mean, we would get thousands of views on some of our short clip content. So that's one thing we're gonna be doing soon, and we're gonna have so much content with this whole interview. I'm really excited to see what we can do with that. But I really appreciate you guys coming up here.
Awesome, we appreciate it.
You guys got some really great product here. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna be snacking on this while Lauren gets up here and does her interview portion.
Awesome. All right.
Awesome, guys. All right, Lauren. So,
Guys, do you think I should take this out and let it melt a little?
so Lauren, you're gonna sample some stuff. I'm gonna stay up here with you, but yeah. Hey, take this one. Take this one. Yes. I'm gonna take that. Yeah.
We've been chatting it up.
Welcome.
What's up, dude? We just had a whole podcast conversation, so let's see if we can keep it going.
Yeah, we were doing like really well. I was like, dang, we almost need to stop and like save it for up there.
Man, Lauren, I cannot wait for you to try some of these. I mean, seriously,
excited.
the banana and the sherbet. Like, here's the thing: is again, I was really nervous because I'm serious. Like, I waited until today to try the ice cream. I was really nervous. I wasn't gonna I was gonna make a funny face, and I didn't have to. It tasted really good. So, let's see. I'm gonna look at the flavors that we have so we can get you some up here while we interview. So we have the. I'm gonna give you a couple, and you tell me which one you would want to try. So we have the vanilla, the coconut, the banana, the orange sherbet. That's probably the ones you would probably enjoy the most.
Okay.
Those are the ones without
do
chocolate.
The vanilla and the banana.
Okay. Yeah.
Vanilla and banana.
I'm curious to try the mint chocolate chip, cause that's what you got. All right. Well, you work on that and then bring some to me whenever you're. Oh, perfect.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, okay, so go ahead and introduce yourself. You're part of the crew. You handle the marketing, right?
I do, yeah.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Tony Coons. I own my own business called Sandy Pineapple Marketing, and I met these guys probably about a month into their journey.
Yeah.
And they've gotten me hooked on kava in a good way. My wife and I have been sober for 4 months. We haven't
Oh, wow, awesome.
drank alcohol
Congrats,
in 4 months.
congrats.
Not that, we drank a lot, but I definitely feel a huge difference. And I it's because of them is the whole reason why we were able to find kava. What's really funny is I was living in Utah, and I was telling her this, that I was friends with a bunch of Polynesians who all did kava or drink kava ritually with their families once a month. But I had never been invited because it was a family thing. And once I came out here and tried kava, I gave him a call and was like, "Hey man, when I come back, we can hang out. I'm a kava guy now." And they're like,
Right.
"Oh, that's a family thing." And I was like, "Okay." And I did a little bit more looking into it, and it's so cool that people are doing this all over the world. Like Queen Elizabeth, the king just drank some.
Yeah, I seen the King Charles.
Yep, King
That was
Charles,
awesome.
Princess
And then
Diana.
Moana, the movie that just came out, they did a whole entire kava circle in the movie.
Insane,
Like, what
right?
are the odds? Like, and it's funny because I couldn't convince my friends that they're like, oh, kava's just like a trend, blah blah blah, and they're these Disney adults, and then as soon as they saw it, they're like, whatever. I was like, gotcha. But
Kava's been around for thousands of years.
Exactly.
It's not going anywhere. Just because, even if it did become a trend and it kind of went away in the United States, it's still going to be huge.
It's still gonna be
overseas.
everywhere, yeah.
And something about our ice cream that I kind of wanted to mention that I'm not sure if it was mentioned, but when you eat the ice cream, there's fat in the ice cream, and kava actually attaches itself to fat solubles in your body. So while you're eating the ice cream, it's actually intensifying the feeling that you're getting from
honestly,
it.
I'm kind of feeling it already.
It makes it last longer. In fact, we hand out little, we go places and we hand out little samples, and they're like, whoa, what did you put in that? And we're like, listen, there's there is one shell in each cup of our kava ice cream. Just one
Wow.
shell.
It's like, calm down, buddy.
Yeah,
No, okay,
it's like,
seriously?
I promise you, we did not like dose you really hard or anything.
That one, okay, so that vanilla right there, I think the vanilla right now is my favorite. Like,
Yeah.
I like the banana. Dude, the vanilla,
A little like aftertaste of the kava.
so I'm a little immune to that flavor. I did taste a little bit in the banana, not as much in the sherbet, but in that one, I hardly tasted it at all.
So-
Like, compared to the other two, I
That was
tasted
really
the
loud.
least.
But I think I accidentally got the sherbet instead of the banana, but the sherbet was amazing. It was really great.
Alex,
and
you got the
I
banana
kind
over
of
there?
like that you can taste a little bit of
Here.
the traditional kava still in the
Hey,
ice cream.
we'll save that banana first. Somebody in the audience, we have the banana over here. I have one here. The banana.
So something I want to say about the sherbet is it's got an earthy taste to it. So you actually taste the kava that's in it. The rest of them are flavored enough where you don't really taste it. So we do recommend like kava drinkers try the sherbet because I think
It's
you're
really
gonna
good.
like that more.
So I was thinking here, like while you were talking, I was like, you know what would be a really cool thing for you guys to like promote to like, especially to sell this is, I don't know if Mitra still sells the orange sherbet kratom kava, but talk about a kava float, a kava ice cream float.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So we've already had a few kava bars that are doing root beer floats with
Yeah.
our vanilla.
You know what you can do with it as well is, have you ever had the White Rabbits? They have a root beer kratom
That's what we were
drink.
talking about.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
awesome.
So they're doing root beer floats. Right now we're in Decline Diego's Insane Burritos.
I love
It's
pecans.
beachside, and they're actually looking at doing some mix and matches with not with kratom or anything, but just with different sodas and things
Yeah.
like that. They've been a really big part of why we are where we are right now.
I mean, you see how much Decines is kind of especially in like the beach life or whatever, they're in a lot of different facets. Like they're really big with the community.
They're iconic.
That's why, like I was saying earlier, is I'm very picky, and whenever I was younger, my mom would always be like, "Oh, let's go to Decines," and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm a picky kid. I don't want to try new foods." And it wasn't until I was in college, me and my cheermates, we went to Decines after doing a little like practice at the beach, and we tried it, and I fell in love with it. And I mean, ever since then, I mean, they do great. I mean, I'm really picky because I'm very weird about certain consistencies, but a lot of all their food is fresh.
Yeah.
Super fresh. Now, talking about the fact that you guys are in a couple places, one question I had for you, being the marketing guy, is how do you sell yourselves to new clients? Like, imagine we are new potential clients and you want to sell us on the product. What would be how do you convince somebody, especially with it being kava? People just believe whatever they read on the internet. We talked about that earlier. I'm sure it's kind of hard to sell it, but once somebody tries your product, I can imagine.
Yeah. So it was really hard to get in, initially into some of these places like Decline. They took like a few weeks for us to really get in there, almost a month probably. And then if you look at once they were in, Cafe Surfnista, we're like, oh, Decline's doing it. We like kava. We've been to Fiji and had real kava before. Like, let's try putting it in here. Then, where we're going with this moving forward is, honestly, we go and I drop some off. This is kind of like my little spiel. I just go drop some off and play it like laid back and cool. I don't try to sell them on it. It's more of like, here, try this. Tell me how you feel. And then I'll hit you up tomorrow and we'll talk about it. And so it really is, it's selling itself. I think our social media too has been a big provider of getting people that may have not tried it before to like, oh, Decline has it in there, so it must be okay.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think people
Word of mouth is really important, especially where you're at. Like, I mean, I didn't know you were in that many places. Like, that's awesome. Like, whenever they mentioned it, I was like, wow, you guys are even farther than I thought. Like, I mean, that's incredible. Especially, I mean, it's 6 months to be, I mean, you probably mentioned 6 businesses.
Yeah.
6 months, that's like a business per month. I mean, that's pretty hard. I mean,
Yeah.
it took us 6 months to even get businesses to call us back.
Yeah.
I mean, being obviously, being a new show, being something, especially something that's already not super popular with the mainstream crowd of being like Kava Kratom podcast. The way I have to sell the podcast is like, well, technically it's structured like a late night show that just happens to have a few Kava Kratom content or sections. So that's why with the this or that we would have 2 normal questions and sandwich them around one single Kava or Kratom question, because if somebody hears something right away, they're like, oh, they said they weren't all just about Kava, and the first thing you hear is something about Kava, and then they're going to be like, oh, they lied to me, blah, blah, blah. And then that's also why at the end of the podcast, which we'll do later on, is we have the Breaking Barriers segment, is where just Lauren and I talk about our daily lives or things that's just going on around the world. We just talk about normal stuff, because if you look at every single late night host or show, like you have like the Tonight Show, you have late night with insert famous person.
Yeah.
Honestly, my biggest idol in like the late night scene is Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien, still to this day, he doesn't even have a show, and he has a podcast now. It's
it's good.
Friends with Conan O'Brien, or Best Friends with Conan O'Brien. There's been so many hosts that just don't hit it because they have this fake personality, and that's the one thing is, I mean, for the most part, we cut things down in this podcast just so we're not putting out 2-hour-long episodes, but I leave in mistakes. Like if I make a mistake or something like that, I leave a lot of that stuff in there, because like if everything was picture perfect, it would feel almost utopian.
Yeah.
And so you guys kind of market, you go around, what has been the hardest part? Oh, excuse me. What has been the hardest part for selling Kava ice cream?
I would say convincing people that, Kava can be good for you, in certain ways. And it like you have this kind of negative condensation about it. Like me coming from Utah, I really associated Kava with Kratom, and the way I saw Kratom was like, oh, it's that thing that they have huge signs of at smoke shops.
Yeah.
That was like the only thing I knew about Kratom, and even since I've moved here, I've like, oh wow, like it's just helping a lot of people, and I didn't realize there was such a drive here.
Oh yeah, especially in Brevard,
to
it's
stop
crazy.
drinking alcohol, and I think that's great. Coming from Utah, it's like 70% Mormon, so only 30% of the people actually drink there. So it's not really a huge problem there, but in Florida, like, alcohol was a huge problem here, and this is becoming like, so to be honest, like, it's been kind of easy to sell the ice cream because people are in that movement.
Oh yeah.
They're trying to get away from alcohol.
Well, I mean, look right now, I mean, honestly, like, every year I feel like there's a different month where somebody tries to, like, come up with something cool for, like, just, like, no alcohol or whatnot. But this year is the first time I've really noticed it. Dry January.
Yeah.
I love it. And
Yep.
what a time now. I mean, right now is the time where I'm not super big on the whole resolution thing, because I feel like resolutions almost, it's kind of like meant to be broken in a sense.
Kind of a joke.
But like, here's the thing is it's somewhat controversial because everybody's different, Like my take on it, it's an unpopular opinion, is that you shouldn't set resolutions, just set goals. Because here's the thing is there's such a bad connotation. I mean, if you look at it, people that go to the gym starting at the end of the year usually stop by February because it's just too hard. But if you set a bunch of small goals, that's how I live my life every single day.
Yeah.
Is I set a few small goals each day, and that way I'm getting multiple rushes of dopamine from completing a few small tasks. Like, obviously, shoot for the stars on certain things, but obviously have some realistic, reachable goals instead of one big resolution. Like,
So I got something for you.
please.
I've been learning this from a mentor of mine. He does what's called a masogi, and it's a Japanese yearly, so that you can look back 5 years from now and say, I did this in 2025.
Yeah.
Right? And some of it can be like, I started a business, I ran a 5K, Mine is I was a sponsored snowboarder for 12 years. And when I got here, I tried to surf, and I am absolutely awful at it. So my goal, I almost said it again. Not my goal, my masogi is to become a professional surfer.
I love
And I don't plan on ever competing, but I want to get paid somehow to surf. I want to be in the community. I want to do something this year that's going to get me paid for being on a surfboard.
Okay, have you ever seen the movie Surf's Up with like the penguins?
Yeah.
You know who you remind me of Chicken Joe.
That's awesome.
You give me Chicken Joe vibes. Like it's so funny. I was sitting here. I was like, dude. And also, okay, this is another one. This is a really deep. I don't know if a lot of people here probably have never watched this show, but you also kind of remind me of the guy from 50 Rock.
50 Rock.
Or 30 Rock, the
Oh,
TV
30
show.
Rock. Yeah.
I gotta see he was one of the producers of the show, but let me look up the cast. But Lauren, if you have any questions you'd like to ask, I'm gonna look this up real quick.
So when you came here, what made you want to do marketing for a Kava ice cream company? What did you see within that company that drove you to do the marketing for them?
That's a great question. Honestly, it was the owners, Sabrina and Boz. I really connected with them right away. I actually met Boz at a jiu-jitsu open mat, and it was a bunch of there's a bunch of Marines, and me and him kind of connected. He reached out, and I started looking into Kava because I was a little skeptical about it. I was like, I don't know if I can market something I don't know much about. And so they got me to go to Tides, I think was the first one we went to. And then we went to a couple other Kava bars, and I was like, I like this community. I was like, I can get on board with this. And then it just kind of became easy. I was telling you earlier that I really only work with companies that I truly believe in and want them to
That's exactly
prosper.
what we do here.
And it makes my job really easy.
That's great. So what do you have? Oh my goodness.
So, I mean, this is the guy from the show. I mean, even the glasses. I don't know if you guys
I
can see
can kind of
this.
see it.
Dude, he looks, especially with the hat and like the hair, I mean, and the glasses. But it's funny that you say that, the way that you phrase that. By the way, I want to say this real quick. I changed my mind. This mint chocolate chip ice cream you don't taste the Kava at all, and it tastes incredible. This is, right now,
I was about to ask
it went from
you,
vanilla to favorite. I'm going to let you have some of this. I just want a couple more bites because it's so good.
What is your favorite flavor?
Oh man, what's really funny is I don't really like coconut anything, but I love our coconut ice cream. There's just something, there's like coconut in it, like coconut flakes in it.
It's really good. You don't taste the chocolate.
And
I'll go around the chocolate.
yeah, the first time I had it, it was like, oh, I don't like coconut. You know,
Oh, yeah.
It's like the little kid in me.
No,
that's
I
like,
hated coconut as a kid.
You already say like, oh, I don't like coconut, so you already have this like in your mind that you're not gonna like it.
Yeah, that's good.
I really liked banana as well. Like it was just very natural tasting. It wasn't like an artificial.
Oh my, yeah, it
taste.
tasted just like banana. I was saying it
Just
tastes like the
a
frozen
real-
banana
a real
popsicles you can buy.
Banana, yeah. Like almost like banana pudding. It was really good.
Well, so I mean, I'm glad to see how passionate you are because again, I've met a lot of people that are very they talk a big game, but you can tell when someone's being insincere and just I can hear in your voice how serious you take this. I
Yeah.
mean, it's respectable. I really love that you said that you only work and associate with businesses that you agree with. That's every single sponsor we have here on the show. We don't have a lot, but the few that we do, we only promote businesses that we support. That's why we had you guys on here, because even before having your product, I could just tell that you guys were doing things with the right intentions, because that's really hard, A lot of kava bars and a lot of businesses hop into this. They see how big that this is growing, especially in Brevard, and they're like, I want to hop on this money train. And honestly, recently I've talked with a lot of businesses that are trying to open kava bars, and they're clients that I used to have, and they're like, I see you're really big in this kava community. Like, you can make quick buck on this stuff, and it kills me because then I have to tell them that's not what this is about, and it usually causes a lot of tension between me and them because I literally wear the kava root on my sleeve. Like, I'm a big proponent of this stuff. I mean, it's
That's
changed my
awesome.
life. I never came really particularly from like a background of addiction like a lot of people have that are in the community, but I'm able to see the good that it's done for a lot of my friends that have struggled. I don't like to regret things I've done because it's also obviously got me to where I am. But in college, I owned a frat house. Like, I pretty much influenced a lot of drinking and a lot of
Yeah, same.
partying. And, like, I feel like I almost owe it to each of my friends.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex right here. Alex used to, we spent all our time together in college. Marty over there, he was part of our big college group. I mean, it's crazy to see all these people have naturally just come into this community even without right there, I have somebody right there that grew up in like a really strict household that I used to counsel whenever she was in middle school and high school, and her brother was a best friend of mine. It's just crazy to see how all the facets of my life are coming back to the Kava community.
I don't
And
know if
even
you know.
people-
I don't know if you know Kyle from Noble Kava.
I love Kyle. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna be doing an episode with Kyle.
Perfect.
Kyle
So
served me my first shell ever of Kava.
this guy is amazing. He's helped us a lot. Anyways, something
love
about
this.
Kyle is that he's making it accessible for at-home use, and
I love it. The brew
teaching
kits?
you the brew kits, teaching you how to do it. I've already sent 3 of them out to family members and friends that live across the country because
It's
I'm like,
incredible.
hey, we stopped drinking 3 months ago. We feel this much better. And I've never felt like I could stand on any ground and say, hey, you should
Oh,
stop
yeah.
drinking. Even though my wife and I didn't drink that often, but I
Yeah.
couldn't stand on ground and then go out and have wine that night. So now I can like send them that and say, here's an alternative. You can drink it at home and it's free. Like you can buy this for like $20, a whole bag of it. It'll last you a week.
Well, so now one thing is like, I don't really drink like alcohol much. Like it's very, very rare. Like if my family, so my stepdad, he owns a really, really huge bar company around the country. So like, obviously out of respect, if he offers me a drink, I'll be like, sure. But, I never struggled with, alcohol addiction or anything like that. But I just do not like the taste of alcohol. I mean, a lot of people are going to come at me and be like, well, kava doesn't taste that great either. Yeah, I get it. And I mean,
feel like people grow out of phases like that as well.
Everybody has an alcohol phase for the most part. And, the people that really do struggle and do need that gateway to get out of it are the ones that usually don't get that help. And I hate to see it because, I mean, I've seen friends of mine that I've been friends with them since we were 3 years old, that even at the same age, we're both 25, struggling severely with alcohol, and at 25 with like severe liver damage that most people would have at like 50, 60 years old. And it's crazy because, especially in like movies and stuff, like movies are great and all, but like it promotes such heavy alcohol. All athletic events like the Super Bowl, the college bowls, all these different sports are all about alcohol. And like, I can't wait for the day where you're going to see Kava brand here on a big billboard. Like right now, that is one of the things that I am striving to do is I'm going around to a lot of colleges, especially right now with the college Eastern Florida. They are a completely dry campus. Even in the dorms, the kids that live on campus, whether they're 21 or not, are not allowed to have alcohol. One thing I'm trying to do is get Kava on campus because
That would be
I used to
amazing.
work for Eastern Florida and I have all their bylaw books, all their rule books from whenever I used to work there. Kratom and Kava is allowed on campus, and imagine being able to get that into the hands of kids, or I guess not kids, but like college age, young adults, and get them before they get that alcohol, because that's all it is it's all these kids, they're just turning 21, now they're allowed to start drinking, and it's just the fact that now I can do it. But honestly, as sad as it sounds, a lot of kids that have that access to smoking and drinking at young ages, which it's really sucks to see. The very minuscule positive thing of it is they get it out of their system at that young age.
Yeah.
And luckily, I mean, I never had that interest as a kid. Like I literally did not have my first sip of alcohol intentionally until I was 21.
Yeah,
like,
I felt like I
even having the frat house, I
got
never
out of
drank
my
alcohol.
system in high school, but my sister was strongly against it all these years. She's like, hadn't drank alcohol or even tasted it. But now that she's at college, she's completely changed her mindset because they're, you see other children drinking it, or not children, but other young adults drinking it, and then, you kind of follow in their footsteps. And it would be great to have an alternative, like something like ice cream, which is very appealing to everyone, honestly. And yeah, I just start to love to see like college campuses or just like it being in the publics or like places that people can try.
I think that social anxiety is a big thing in college. I mean, both of you, have probably dealt with this before, where you're in like a big crowd, a new group of people, and
Thanks, Bubba.
if you have like a drink or two, it kind of like warms you up to that group. But now, like, I feel like kava works better than alcohol does for me.
I mean, I do have a lot of college students, so like probably by the end of whenever I actually started to work for the college I went to, is whenever I started to notice, some people bringing in like either canteens of kratom, like hot kratom, or just like hydro flasks with.
And I think it's honestly great to even get your mind to hone in on something like
it helps you
studying.
focus.
Yeah.
I mean, especially because I know one product that we've had on here before, and I know only as much as I did on my research for it, but those Odyssey teas, where it's like the mushroom
Those
teas
are
or whatnot,
amazing.
they're really great for attention for college students, especially with like kava. It helps you kind of mellow out. But the cool thing I like about kava is it isn't like a green kratom mellow. It's a hyper focus mellow. Like it allows you to sit there and be able to be relaxed and not stress about whatever you're working on.
Honestly, it would be perfect for them, and it would be much better than alcohol.
Oh yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming up here. I mean, honestly, I'm glad that this all went the way it is. I feel like everything, we asked you a bunch of questions that we didn't even have written down, but it's spontaneous, and you gave us pretty much off the top of your head true, honest answers. I mean, it's hard to make up an answer like that. So I really appreciate you, opening up to us about, especially your part in the business. And we're going to get some kava ice cream out to some people out here while we're doing our last segment. And I really appreciate you coming up here, brother.
Yeah, thank you. And Root A1A, at Root A1A is our Instagram, Facebook. Root1a.com is our website.
And I'm rooted. I'm rooted for Root.
Yes. And you can find us all over town. We actually have on our social media all the places that you can find us.
That's awesome.
And if you're a bar out there, you're somebody who, we're in smoke shops. We're in Mr. Nice Guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in smoke shops. We're in restaurants.
It doesn't matter what kind of business you have.
We were going to
seriously.
be in a butcher shop, but apparently they don't allow kava in Cocoa Village.
'Cause somebody was mentioning that to me. They're like, why isn't there one in there? That would be a perfect place for it.
Yeah, they don't allow it.
Tell me about St. Pete, how they're starting to. So we went to St. Pete for a show not too long ago, and we were passing by all the bars down there. And then we just so happened to come across an actual bar that was also a kava bar and kratom bar. So that would be awesome to have here. So I don't understand why like Cocoa Village would be like no kava here.
All it is baby steps. Here's the thing is once they see businesses that are big like the Kinds and Surfinista, I mean, those are really big names. I mean, to get a spot where Surfinista is, right there next to the original Bizarros, right there on the beach, that's a lot. Satellite Beach to Kinds has just built a really big name for themselves. I mean, their social media platform they're really great at social media, really good at advertising.
I want to clear that up. We're at Cafe Surfnista, which is the one that's in Cocoa Beach. It's the original one.
The original one, okay.
The one that Kelly Slater just went to and signed autographs.
What?
Yeah. So
That's
the owner
crazy.
of that knows Kelly Slater and is a huge iconic surfer in the area. So to get him to like budge on putting kava ice cream in that place was a big thing for us.
We actually, so me and my band, we actually did a performance for Kelly Slater.
No way.
He's super cool guy. I don't even know if he remembers me, but super cool guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you love to have local celebrities. I mean, especially that give back. He's so generous and he's so he does not act like a celebrity whatsoever.
Yeah.
Dude is so down to earth.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a lot of people that are coming out of here. I mean, Doug Flutie was out of here, right?
Yeah.
Doug Flutie was out of here. We have a new surfer, young surfer girl. She's trying to remember what her name is.
Marks.
Yes, yeah. But
Caroline
Marks, and she's
Badass.
really young still. I mean, she's what, like 16 now or something? Because she was 13 when she went to do.
She's like 21 now.
21 now.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I see, if you come over the bridge, like 520, you can see the sign where it used to be just Kelly Slater.
Yep.
And now you have her, And I mean,
And
what? Yeah,
there's
Daniel
a couple
Tosh
other
came out.
Groms that are coming up in like that have billboards in Orlando and stuff.
I love
Like
it.
it's insane. Like
Yeah,
I
hey,
know I'm gonna
listen,
have a billboard
I'm
one
gonna
day.
I'm gonna
as
find
a
some way to get you guys a
50-year-old.
billboard because like, okay, so really quick like minute question here.
Yeah.
Have you guys reached out to Publix?
So let me talk about that really quick.
Yeah, please.
So to get into grocery stores, you have to buy a section basically, and
Okay.
then to get to the top, you would need to pay a lot of money to get in there. So we one day want to be in something like that.
You should
but-
try Sprouts when they open up.
So Sprouts already has kava in it, so that would be our
Really?
next
Oh, I
step.
cannot wait.
Yeah,
Because
so
we're getting that new one right there on Wickham.
Sprouts has like a kava, like a mitra or something like that, but it's kava.
It might be they have something's called something water.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what they got in there. but
Psychedelic water, I think.
somebody's already paved that path for us, so we definitely want to get in there one day.
That's why
But-
we like to bring on people because here's the thing is, who knows, maybe a business that we have on in the future, you guys connect just for the fact that you guys both were on the podcast. I mean, we've
Yeah.
had a couple connections like the comedy guys that we had out here. We had the guy from Boston, the guy from Orlando.
Huh.
They're both now doing Don't Tell comedy throughout the comedy
That's
community.
awesome.
So it's really awesome.
Yeah, we're stoked to any connections that anybody can give us. Like reach out to us.
Reach out on their
like-
Instagram. We plugged their Instagram a couple times. Seriously, guys, like you do not want to. You don't want to miss out on this because you can be one of the people who's like, oh, I had it before it took off.
Yes, and that's what everybody's been telling us is like we're just happy to have it right now because we know eventually it's going to be huge and we're going to be the ones that started this.
Starting out story. So we really appreciate you
I mean, I've
taking
had-
your time to come out onto
Yeah,
this
for
podcast
real.
and sharing all this great information with
You
us
have
and
a-
your product.
You have a great, tasty product. I mean, I've had 10 bites of a couple different flavors, and I'm rooted right now. Like
Yeah,
I love
I'm
it. I love
feeling
it so much.
I'm
And
feeling it too.
Especially with the mint. Like the mint right now is by far my favorite. It doesn't taste like kava at all. Like the other ones had faint hint, not even a hint in this one.
Yeah.
But while we're doing this, if you guys want to hand out ice cream to some
Yeah.
people, we'll do a little shout out thing for anybody that wants to get some ice cream. But we appreciate you coming up here, dude.
I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
I'm a hugger.
Cool, brother.
Thank you so much. It was nice to meet you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so everybody, well, we're doing our last segment, our Breaking Barriers. If there is anybody out there that wants to try for free, we are going to be, raise your hand up. We'll get you some kava ice cream. If you want to try it, seriously, you do not want to miss out right now. It's better to try it while you can because, I mean, seriously, I'm picky. I do not promote anything I don't enjoy, and all this is amazing. So raise your hand if you got anybody out there. It doesn't matter who you are. We'll get you some kava ice cream, completely free.
I didn't.
the tried and true.
I didn't.
I have not.
This is my second
I
favorite.
didn't like double dip. Okay. So those are good to hand out. I'm not sure about this banana though.
Here, if you want to collect these up for me. You could have the. Oh, you already had the mint one. If there's anybody who wants to try the mint, I have the chocolate, the mint chocolate chip here. You want it? Here. Right here. Ask Kate and she'll get you a spoon.
You got the banana?
This is the banana.
That's banana?
Yeah.
This one's the one that you want.
Right here, right behind you.
Spoons or
And hey guys, so if you guys want kava ice cream, make a line on that side just because we're going to go in with our show. And sharing is caring, y'all. Here, scoot on in. Scoot on, sir. Yeah, right here.
Yeah.
You take that.
Thank you very much.
And this here. What's that one? Is that for us?
it's the one you had.
Oh, you can take it with you. I'm gonna. Sorry, I'm gonna loosen this up so I can get it closer to me. There we go. Alrighty.
Right.
Oops. Got it. Well, I'm gonna pull up my notes real quick. Alrighty. Well, we're gonna get into our last segment. This is our segment we like to call Breaking Barriers. I'm gonna lift this up a little bit. Well, we're gonna get into our last segment here. This is a segment and the part of the show we like to call Breaking Barriers. We skipped over our this or that segment this week just because, honestly, I did not want to sacrifice having just one of the two guests that we had on tonight. I mean, this, honestly, what a start of 2025. I mean, this is probably gonna go down in like my favorite episode. But this is the part of the show we like to call Breaking Barriers, where we just break down the barrier between podcast hosts and just members of the community. I hate whenever I see, all these celebrities, they're making news headlines where they're just making fun of their own audience because they've lost touch to reality and what it's like to just be a person. I mean, that's realistically, no matter how big this gets, we're just people. We're nobody big. We're nobody special. We're just people trying to spread awareness to something we believe in. And that's what this whole segment's about is, just connecting more with you one-on-one to give you the idea that you're here with us in the Kava Bar. If you can't be here in studio like we do, like tonight's a great night. I think tonight we probably have a good 50, 55 people. It's a really great night. We have and we did an early episode. I was really nervous we weren't going to have enough people out here to, create an ambiance. Everybody came through. I really appreciate it. But today, for Breaking Barriers, Lauren, if you want to go first.
And just social media. So for all the fashion people out there, have you heard? Do you know what like a Birkin bag is?
I've heard of it. It's like a designer bag, right?
Yeah. So it's up there with like Louis Vuitton. It's made by Hermes. So
Okay.
I guess it's a big scandal. A big scandal's going on right now because Walmart created a bag that looks almost identical to the Birkin bag. And the backstory on the Birkin bag is
That's really good.
A specialty bag made by Hermes.
Okay.
It takes I could be wrong, but it takes a couple weeks to create this bag and craft it.
Oh wow.
They outsource the best leathers, the materials for the bag, and it's very sought after, and you have to be offered it. And in order to be offered it, you have to go there and spend a lot of money. It's like called the Hermes Birkin bag games. Like you go there and you kind of hope that one day a sales associate will offer you this bag.
Yeah.
And you don't get to pick the color. You don't really get to pick which one you necessarily want. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, if you buy this bag, the resale value is almost triple the price. And people have seen it as almost an asset and investment at this point. And like, from what I can remember, even back in like the 2000s, these Birkin bags started out being $4,000. Now some of them go up to $45,000, $60,000 bags.
Gee whiz. See, I honestly, designer or not, I will never. Never ever.
Nothing's ever worth that much.
Never.
But anyways, so it's a big scandal that Walmart has created basically the same exact Birkin bag that are selling for those prices. The only difference is they obviously can't put Hermes, the logo, on the bag.
Is it the same materials and everything?
That I'm not sure. I would have to watch like a comparison video.
I could see why a business would be like pissed off about that because it'll lower the value of their bag. But honestly, good for them. Like here's the thing is I'm pretty weird about supporting big companies like Walmart.
Into perspective that this bag they're selling to you for this amount of money isn't necessarily really truly worth that, and that people are.
It's not.
Yeah.
Nothing like that is like. Here's the thing: is like I know it's a sign of class or whatnot, but really like okay, whenever people talk like that, it really falls back down to the pride aspect of like I've talked a couple times on the show. Is it just shows how prideful you are and like it. You think you're better than somebody else because you have this huge designer brand bag, bro. Hats off to the person that has the ability to go buy a $60,000 bag and then buys a $20 backpack, dude.
If you can afford it, you've earned it.
Like, here's the thing: is if it's something collectible and it's less than I can understand the collectability of like the bags that are like $100 at Disney that are like like the Disney, which I mean, not a huge super big Disney product, dude, but like collectible things are fun or whatever. But like $60,000 for a bag is ridiculous. Anything over $100 for a bag is ridiculous.
I can see if you're wanting to do it as
I don't care what it's made out of. I just want a bag that'll get my stuff from point A to point B.
As something that can be like an investment over the decades, but even then, like you're taking a risk on something like that.
It's
And,
crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. But it's interesting to see how Walmart went, and I believe the Walmart bag is selling for $78. And to me,
Good for them.
it looks extremely, extremely authentic. Like pretty much the same. Like could be from the same manufacturer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was like something interesting I kept seeing pop up on my For You page. And then
That's crazy.
as I was like looking at that whole scandal, there are these keychains that are very popular over in Japan and even starting to become popular here. Like a lot of influencers want them. They're called La Boo-Boos. Do you know what that is or no?
Nope.
Okay. So
Is it whenever you trip and you scrape your elbow, you get a little boo boo?
they're like these little dolls or doll keychains, and they almost look like little monsters, like with a grin. So
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah.
researching it because people were like putting them on their Birkin bags or just any bag.
Yeah.
And they're not too like outrageous, but designer brands were also starting to create little clothing that you could go and purchase to put on your keychain.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But
It's so utopian.
I started looking into it. I was like, how come like people are waiting in lines for this stuff, like kind of like Supreme drops or something like that.
Yeah.
They're waiting in lines at this place called like Pop Mart, where you can get like
Okay.
little figurines.
Yeah.
I was like, there has to be something special about this, and I started doing research on like the creator, and he ended up being like he started out like liking fairies and like folklore, and he started writing and drawing like a bunch of children's books, and then ended up creating like animations and stuff like that. So it could stem from like their childhood, something sentimental. I was like, okay, this is making more sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's just really interesting. So I thought I'd share a little like insight
I mean, that's
into
crazy.
what's going on in the fashion world. right now.
That's awesome. Like, here's the thing is, like, obviously Walmart's still a big player in, like, a big world and a big pond. But, like, stuff like that, I think it's ridiculous that we charge things ridiculous amounts for things that are just easily obtainable for,
Honestly, not right.
like, okay, for example, like, it's so, like Beanie Babies. Like, okay, with Beanie Babies, obviously, like, they sell for a little bit. Like, they sell, like, you can get, the whole story behind Beanie Babies goes, you have the way that they structured their businesses is that they would make like 100 or 1,000 of a certain animal, and then they would retire it after a couple months, and that would boost popularity in it because they're like, what do you mean it's retiring? Yeah. And then, so like, I can understand stuff like that where it's collectible, but again, like, people aren't selling them. Like, obviously there are a few Beanie Babies, like the OGs that sell for a couple thousand, but like, realistically, it's like no more than a couple $100s if you want to buy it. And, like, obviously, at the end of the day, it's your money. Like, if you have the money and you can afford to do that, all the power to you. I mean, who am I to say what you can and can't do? But obviously, like, take into consideration, do you really need a $60,000 bag or even anything more than that? Like, realistically, like,
And
if
what's
it...
crazy is the collectors can't even use the bag.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
if
the
they
same thing
want
I feel
to
about
use that.
shoes, dude. People who buy basketball shoes and then don't wear them. Like, here's the thing, is if you're going to go drop a whole bunch of money, you know damn well I'm going to be wearing them shoes. I mean, look how dirty my shoes are right now. I get my use out of all these shoes. I don't think you can see them, but they look disgusting. But, hi, Zeke. Wait, Zeke, come here. I want you to try this. So this is their chai chocolate chip ice cream. Try this.
What is this?
Kava ice cream.
Does it taste like chocolate or no?
Slightly, but it just tastes like chai tea, honestly. Sorry, we haven't had Zeke on camera in a while, and I just wanted to show his pretty face to everybody.
Appearance, his monthly appearance.
Hi, Corbin. We love Corbin.
That's pretty good.
Dude, and here's the thing is, like, so I was trying their mint chocolate chip, and you can't even taste the kava. And that one you can taste a little bit, but
My mouth was already numb from kava anyway, so
you look good.
thank you.
You look like skinny Nacho Libre.
Thank you.
Yeah, Jack Black's hot. But no, well, for my, that's crazy. That's insane. Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk one of the big dogs is taking down the other big dogs?
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember, big dogs still can bite.
I kind of personally like it at the same time because
Oh, I'm all about it.
it's breaking up
Social norms.
barriers. Yeah.
Breaking barriers. Boom. We're going to get Walmart on here, the CEO of Walmart. No, okay, so what I want to talk about today is so I know I've talked about, like, my rabbit holes a lot, But lately, I've started watching, and I just subscribed to Dr. Mike. I don't know if you've seen him. Like, he posts a lot of clips. He's really big on TikTok. But I follow him on YouTube. I've been watching a lot of his videos lately. And, like, obviously, we were just talking about Dream Big. Dude, what if, like, sometime down the road, we get Dr. Mike on here to talk about the health benefits of kava and kratom? That would be so crazy cool. Like, honestly, like, I've been thinking about it. Like, once I was watching, I was like, dude, what if we got him out here?
I think once somebody from the medical field endorses it to the masses,
So, okay, like, I've always said,
take off even more.
I've said it a lot. I don't, like, this isn't me making some kind of political standpoint. That's not what the show is about. It's not about anything political. This doesn't even have to do with politics in general. But Trump, obviously, I don't know if there's anybody that watches this outside of America and doesn't know that Trump just got elected president back a couple months ago. He appointed somebody here out of Brevard County that's a doctor that is a big proponent for kava and kratom as the head of the FDA.
Well, you know why though? Because so the backstory of Trump is he does not drink whatsoever.
Really? That's crazy I had no idea.
Drink at all. I could be wrong. Don't come after me, please. But I believe his father might have been an alcoholic or something, and that's just his
Gotcha.
lifestyle. His whole entire family doesn't drink. He doesn't.
Honestly, for someone his stature and like obviously like alcohol really is a big sign of wealth for some people, especially at his level. That's pretty cool. Like again, like this isn't about politics, but like that's pretty cool.
Very big on like living a healthy life and having a clean mindset.
We got a couple people out of Brevard, honestly, that are going to be part of like big government official, but FDA, like one of the head honchos of the FDA. That's a really big deal, and like who knows, he could help be part of overturning the age ban on certain things. I mean, in my own personal opinion, I don't think kava should be regulated at all. Kratom should be regulated, but to people 18 and up, not 21 and up. I don't think there should be a regulation on kava at all because there's nothing about it whatsoever other than the fact that it's just a natural diuretic. Like I can understand that part, but I don't.
There's so many benefits, and
I mean, in every other country, there's no age limit on kava, so.
I keep hearing like medical story after medical story where this actually benefits people.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And I mean, there's somebody that's really big with Island Root that's a doctor that talks a lot about kava kratom. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. But, I would love to see someone like Dr. Mike talk about something because, the one cool thing that's about him is I've been watching him like a lot of his videos, and he is willing to admit whenever he's wrong, whenever he makes mistakes, which isn't easy, especially with somebody that's a social media influencer and a doctor. Like, bro, my doctor will never admit whenever he's wrong. Like, love you, doc, but no, I mean, realistically, in the future, I would love, like, if we ever get to the point where, like, we're doing this legit. Like, I mean, we're already doing it legit, but, like, even big, like, we have big names come on. That would be awesome, like, to do something like that. But I on that note, with, taking big steps this year holds a lot for us. I mentioned at the beginning of the episode that last year was a year of growth, and this year is our year of building. So I'm really excited to see what's going to be coming out of this year because obviously this first episode, banger of a first episode this year. I'm really excited to see how the reception of this episode goes because we obviously had a kava, someone in the kava community, and then somebody not particular. Like Allie's not strictly in the kava community; she's in all facets. But I would love to see this episode blow off, being the first episode of the year. And tonight I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna purchase some editing software to.
What I was going to tell you is I think we should work on our thumbnails.
Yeah, because I've started trying to make thumbnails or whatever from scratch, but I think I need some kind of template to start training myself on how to do it.
There's a lot of great people, even like freelancers on Fiverr.
Yeah.
To even just see what they do and see what software they use, maybe a good stepping stone for us.
So one thing is like, it's gonna sound like it's a sponsored thing, but we are not sponsored by these people whatsoever. Honestly, I've seen it so much. Honestly, I kind of want to try Skillshare. Like I see like Skillshare has.
I've heard of them, but I haven't seen any of their ads.
I mean, well, so you haven't seen any of their ads?
I don't think so.
What?
Maybe
They're
I have.
everywhere. So like, okay, so what Skillshare is Skillshare is kind of something like it's independent kind of, like it's like a Instagram, but where like, everybody has individual content creators where they teach you how to do certain things or whatnot, but you pay a flat fee each month for everything. and
like
you just
the
pick it.
masterclass course.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Skillshare's been around longer than Masterclass. Masterclass is fairly new compared to Skillshare. Skillshare, I think, has been around since 2010.
A lot of great things, especially like one of my friend Tyler Matthews is a really great
Oh, yeah.
photographer in this community, and I know he learned a lot, like life-changing stuff in the matter of a year just watching like master classes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn from people. I'm glad that there's a platform.
Yeah, and there's so much. There's so many different things. Well, I mean, there's not much more I can say here. We had a really great episode. I really appreciate Allie coming out here. I appreciate the entire Route A1A crew coming out here. You guys, obviously, like how we usually do in the episodes, we plug all their socials in the beginning of their interview and the end of their interviews. Honestly, appreciate them bringing out so much product. A lot of people today got to have it for the first time, and honestly, I'm pretty sure today they have created a good handful of new clients. And same thing with Space Swap. Stay up to date with them because, I mean, I've witnessed them grow firsthand and see how much they've done and how much. So, honestly, guys, the best way you can support us is going and supporting them because we bring these people on to grow their business. And if other businesses see that we can help others, they'll come on. And it'll just keep on expanding and expanding and expanding. Another way you can support us, obviously, is we have lots of sponsors here on the podcast. Obviously, Mitra 9 is one of them. If you guys want, down the bio, I'm going to... So one thing I want to say is, like, I'm glad that we work with Mitra 9, and a really good way to support us is down in our bio or in our description. If you guys go click a link down there, it'll take you to their website, and you guys can buy a variety pack because I know I'm always drinking like the watermelon or the dragon fruit, but honestly, they have so many great flavors. We've sampled them here on the podcast, and here's the thing is I mean, I was skeptical of a lot of them at first until I actually tried them. And I actually was just telling somebody about this at Tides the other night whenever we met up there. I was telling somebody that the tropical one really does taste like a bag of Smarties. It's crazy. But so, yeah, there's something for everybody. They got the black cherry, black cherry. They have sparkling watermelon, mixed berry, a whole bunch of other cool stuff. But if you guys want to get a variety pack, they have 4 packs. They're pretty cheap. Like, especially, I'm pretty sure, so right now they have a deal going on where if you guys click our link, you guys get 15 to 20% off, depending on what you get. You guys can buy big variety packs. Like, they have the 4-pack. I think they have even up to, like, something like a 30-pack or something like that. You can also buy cases from their website. Everything you buy using our link goes directly back to us, and we really appreciate it. It helps support us and allows us to be able to, donate back to the community like they donate to us. Allows us to, we're going to be traveling starting next week. So, like I said, I'm not taking any money from this. All this goes directly back into the podcast. And, I mean, just from episode 1, look how much we've changed. Like, I mean, I'm looking as if, like, I'm just looking at just, like, the stuff we have on the desk. But now we have 2 mics that are actually our own, 2 mic stands. We have a mixer that we didn't bring, but we have it. We have just a whole bunch of great stuff. We got software to edit. We have software to record, software to do all this stuff. And, again, I'm not in this for the money. I'm in it to share what makes me want to be in this community with you guys at home and the people here that are in the audience. So we're going to call it here for this week. Thank you so much. This has been episode 16 of the Breaking Brews podcast. I'm your host, Mikey, too.
And I'm your co-host, Lauren Olivia.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Bubba. Did you end the live? Go ahead and go ahead. End the live on there. Sorry, Bubba. It should say just end live.